Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Realtor Reese Show. It is Wednesday, and I am getting you over the hump. It doesn't feel like it, though. It doesn't feel like it. We're in a short week. This has kind of crept up on us already. It's already Wednesday. Beautiful weather. Realtor Reese Show here at 105.5. I am with you for your drive home between 4 and 5 this Wednesday and each and every Wednesday as we bring you over the hump in all things real estate, sports, and business. Sports. Why is he talking sports? Well, I am exclusive agent for Sports Star Relocation here in Sacramento, and I am responsible for moving athletes, high net worth individuals, etc., when they get cut or traded from an organization. So, not a lot going on with the Sacramento Kings right at this moment. Their roster of 2014-2015 season was pretty solid. Really had some issues, during the course of the year. DeMarcus Cousins was injured for a stretch, etc. But pretty solid. Adding Rudy Gay was a huge addition. We're looking forward to next year, and then of course looking forward to the new arena downtown. So that brings us into a lot of real estate news and things going on in our central area and surrounding counties. The last couple of weeks, if you missed the show, you missed a treat. First off. Because we had some great guests talking about credit repair, and not even repair, just how to fix the things that are on your credit that might drag down your score, so we can have a better understanding about it. We got such great response from that. We're probably going to bring back Mr. Ron Mackey here in the next couple of weeks. We had Steve Atala on from Summit Funding. He's going to be in our studios here momentarily again to talk to us a little bit about the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James doing his thing out there. He's going for his 5th straight NBA Finals appearance. He's going to talk to us a little bit about that. We're going to talk about some real estate going on here in the Sacramento area. What's happening? What can you afford? We have a lot of things surfacing here in terms of real estate. Not only just is pricing still affordable, interest rates are still low. A lot of things going on, a lot of programs out there, and we're going to share our thoughts and some programs about that. Also, talk a little bit today about reverse mortgages. Steve Atala from Summit Funding was talking to me earlier today, and he said, I've had a couple of requests about reverse mortgages here just in the last week. So are they a thing of the past? Are they coming back? What makes them go? What makes them come? We'll talk to them a little bit about that. But today is Wednesday. If you are on the bench out there, in other words, you are sitting out waiting to try and get into the program, get into the game, you are listening to the Realtor Reese Show. I am your host, Realtor Reese Punter. You can reach me here, 866-576-1055. You can also go to Facebook.com/Realtor Reese, and you can certainly respond. I'm going to put this question out here right now for you sports fans. Before I get into real estate, for you sports fans out there, and I know this question's been going on a lot, ESPN, etc., but LeBron or Michael? LeBron James or MJ? I mean, LeBron James, arguably, and when Steve Atala gets out here, we're going to talk about this. We're going to debate a little bit about this. I don't know if he's going to pick my pick. I'm not going to reveal it yet, but my argument is, LeBron James doesn't have a lot of folks around him. I mean, he does it wherever he goes. You can just parachute him into any town USA seemingly, and he gets people to follow his methods. He gets folks inspired, and he goes out and gets the job done. I mean, hats off to him. So. Gosh, I wish we had someone like him over here. But DeMarcus Cousins, Reggie Evans, Rudy Gay did a heck of a job for us here in Sacramento. So I'm looking forward to next season and see how we can contend. Folks, if you are out there, you are on the bench once more, 866-576-1055 is your number. You can also email me at Reese, R-E-E-S-E, like the candy bar, like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. So Reese at RealtorReese.com. So my first question again, MJ or LeBron James? Question for you in real estate. So my question I'm going to put out there for the day, what would you rather? Would you rather live along the river? We got a lot of things going on up and down the river. Broadway, at the end of Broadway there next to Miller Park, they have a development that's coming out pretty soon. As a matter of fact, one of my associates turned me on to it. She's going to be moving there. And they've got rooftop living, everything overlooks the river. From the photos, it looks pretty good. Would you rather live along the river, or would you rather live, El Dorado Hills has a lot of building going on out there, Folsom El Dorado Hills, looking along the hillsides, some beautiful views. What would you rather do? Would you rather be along the river, or would you rather look at the hills? You can answer that. Go to Facebook, Realtor Reese, and you can go ahead and answer. We've got that question out there. Also, you can email me, reese@realtorreese.com. Go ahead and answer, and put any comments in. I will go ahead and read them on the air. So, last week we spoke a little bit about interest rates. We talked about college graduates, and notably enough, my applications this week for college graduates, seemingly, these are young adults, I've gotten 3 young adult applications out over to a lender, and are showing them homes here in the Sacramento area. So I guess we've inspired a few people out there, letting them know that you don't have to make a ton of money. There's still affordable housing right here in Sacramento. And whether you go condo, whether you go small home, we can always find a way to get a good buyer into a good home, so you can maximize those benefits and those bundle of rights. You know, owning a home, you have the maximum bundle of rights. You can gift it, you can will it, you can sell it. It is an investment, and we should treat it and look at it as such. So we do that here with my team, the Realtor Reese team at Intero Real Estate Services. And we also partner with some of the best vendors out there as it relates to real estate, whether it be a lender, whether it be if you need to move, if you need security. ADT, we had them on the show here about a month ago. High demand, I think we're going to have them back. And, you know, which brings me to a little sidebar, folks, in terms of safety out there. We've got a lot of technology going on, right? There's all kinds of things. And with technology comes technology breach, or technology theft, if you will, or the misuse of the technology that is out there. So, ADT, your folks out there, can help you with that, can help you put things in place that will help protect you and your family. And speaking of, I'm going to talk about, you know, it's Monday, Memorial Day. You know, my wife and I, we're planning our day. We're going to barbecue, we're going to hang out, you know, we're just going to have low key. It's going to be great. And we get a call from the police department. Now, my uncle and my grandmother live together out there, and he takes care of her, he looks after her, and they happen to be gone, thankfully. And there was a burglary down the street, around the corner, and the cops, Sacramento PD, did a great job of apprehending these guys, but all 4 of them get out and they start running, and they're looking for a place to hide. And one of those places happened to be my grandmother and my uncle's house. Now, let me preface this by saying my uncle is 6'3", 6'4", maybe about 310, 320. So this guy, he better be lucky that my uncle wasn't at home, first off. But this guy comes in, you know, proceeds to put on clothes and sit around and act like he lived there. So I don't understand it. And mind you, with my uncle's clothes on. So this was quite a sight to see. Security, very, very important. We never know. Sometimes it's not directed at us, but it is directed at someone else, and we get caught in the crossfire. So you want to do your best to protect yourself. I today will give a $100 gift certificate to all who call in or email me, reese@realtorreese.com. Reese, R-E-E-S-E, @realtorreese.com. Go ahead and send me an email. Send me your information. I need your name, I need your address, and give me a reason why you, obviously you don't have a security system installed in your home now, but why you deserve a security system, and I will make sure our friends get out there give you a consult and give a $100 gift certificate away for doing so. That will help you in your endeavors. So we've got a lot coming up. Mr. Steve Atala with Summit Funding is here in the building. We'll talk with him a little bit and get a little bit more into the world of real estate. And you will never guess who sold their Calabasas mansion. It's a celebrity. I'm going to let you ponder on that, and we'll get your answer when I return. We'll be back in just a moment. You are on 105.5, the Money Channel, listening to The Realtor Reese Show. We'll be right back. Thanks for allowing me to get you over the hump. This is Reese Punter, your consumer advocate here. You are listening to The Realtor Reese Show. Each and every Wednesday from 4 to 5, I am with you during your drive home. We spoke a little bit about security and the safety out there. A lot of folks buying, selling, a lot of folks getting into new homes. Don't let security escape your mind at closing time, and go ahead, and it doesn't have to be any of my affiliates or anyone that we work with. It could be anybody. But just don't forget that. It's really, really important, and important to protect you and your family. Talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of sports as the new arena is being built. And gosh, they're doing stuff down there. If you've tried to navigate your way from the off-ramp on I-5 anywhere to J and 16th, anywhere, I mean, it feels like it's already a big metropolitan city. We got stuff going on. We got hard hats. We got drilling. We've got big buildings being erected. We got parking structures being built. And so it already feels like a metropolitan city to me. I don't know, and get your thoughts. You can chime in, if you will, to Reese at RealtorReese.com, or you can certainly give us a call at 866-576-1055, 866-576-1055. And in walks my buddy, my confidant, the man with the plan, Summit Funding's very own Steve Atala. Thank you for joining us, Steve. Thank you. Thank you.
To be here.
It's you have a good holiday?
I did. Had a great weekend. Worked a little bit Saturday morning. Played a little golf Saturday afternoon.
Oh, great.
And then kind of I caught a little bit what you were talking about on the way, and then I spent Sunday and Monday on the river.
Oh, did you?
So guess which way I'm leaning on that.
So I guess you're going for the hillside then.
Yeah, not quite. Yeah.
Good. A lot of projects that are going on down there, and I know the river's always fun, especially this time of year. And so, high-rise building, you've got rooftop living.
Mm-hmm.
What is living on the river here? Let's say if you got a place in Sacramento, from where you're from, how does it remind you of home?
Quite a bit. You know, like, as you said, born in Pittsburgh, grew up in a small town in Ohio, and I love being on the river. I think it's just one of the best things about Sacramento. What really makes it great is when you're out on your friend's boat.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about your own. But yeah, it's just it's got a great feel to it. It does get a little crowded on a holiday weekend like this.
Sure.
But I just think there's something about it. I think it adds so much to life in Sacramento.
That's great. I want to be on the river. I grew up in Lower Manhattan and Tribeca or Greenwich Village.
Yep.
And that was our view. I was looking out the river, across into Jersey. So I would definitely want to be on the river. Plus, I like it. It's a little cooler.
Yeah,
a little cooler.
Some great eateries. Great place to have when you're not driving the boat, to go have a cold beverage.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I love everything about it.
So, Ohio.
Yes,
Speaking of Ohio, you must be pretty happy now in the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Well,
moving on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes and no?
No, I can go into this subject for quite a bit. So I did grow up in Ohio.
Okay.
But born in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So grew up in the '70s. A Dr. J fan.
Okay.
So I was
All right.
Sixers through and through. Never really got on the Cleveland bandwagon.
Really?
Obviously, them being.
Well, why? I mean, why? Who do they have? What reason? What reason was it?
Yeah, Mel Turpin and Keith Lee and a couple of. There wasn't a lot going on in Cleveland.
Sure.
But so I was always a Sixer fan growing up, and then I always kind of joked though, that the longer we keep the city of Cleveland down without a championship, I think the better off we are. I think it's just more fun.
Come on.
We had the drive, we had the fumble. We had the Indians blowing it in '97.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been so much heartbreak, and then LeBron leaves. I mean, the city was in turmoil, and but I think that eventually, if he stays, and this year and next year, they're going to get over the hump. they're going to get that championship.
Oh, I think they will. No doubt about it. But you did have Major League in the late 80s.
Yeah, we had the real thing.
Great.
I mean, we had the real thing. You could go to an Indians game and there'd be a good 3,000-4,000 people there.
Coming out in the tens.
Tens, absolutely.
So I'm looking at some statistics from last night's game. I mean, Ken, what can we talk about? I mean, LeBron James is just on fire. And 27 points average, over 10 points in rebounds. And I mean, he almost averaged a triple-double in this series as they just kind of, they look as if they're just going to breeze through this thing.
Well, and you're also looking at who they're doing it with. They took 2 or 3 players off the Knicks scrap heap and are contending.
Yeah.
And
well, J.R. Smith,
Moskoff, a couple of these other guys, and they're stepping up. And I think it basically goes to what you said, though.
Yeah.
We're on the same side of this debate. There's no debate about it. I mean, I think it's LeBron.
Yeah.
There's just no 2 ways.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, if you look at it, like you said, I think that he's always wanted to bring people up around him. Early in his career, he had that knock. He wasn't going to take the big shot at the end of the game. But I think you can look at it the other way. He wasn't afraid to pass it. He wasn't afraid to put his other players in a position and let them know that they're part of the equation.
Sure.
Everything the guy does. I mean, he can guard, in my opinion, just about anybody on the floor.
Anybody on the floor. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. And one of the other things I'm going to chime in on is, he's matured nicely in the league. He's just come along like he's supposed to come along. I mean, Kobe, we had issues, early on. He had the maturity issues and whatnot. He'd always, kind of, flail his arms and act immature after a loss or what have you. Michael was a little lean at first. His second year, he was out. He missed 95% of that year. Came back and, he didn't really start to gel and start to mature until they got Pippen in '87. So, looking at it, LeBron has always been dominant. He seems to get better every single year. And I thought, and I told you this, I thought it was a bad move for him to go back to Cleveland. I really did. I thought, and folks out there, you're listening to the Realtor Reese show and you're thinking, why is he talking sports?
Because it's fun.
I am the exclusive agent for Sports Star Relocation. That's what I do. We relocate folks, but we also relocate mom and pop. Talking a little bit today about the dominance of LeBron James and what he's been able to do in the league. And I got to be honest with you, I didn't think that it was going to carry on like it has in essence of him just getting better each and every year. I'm thinking this guy's a little bit bigger than Jordan. He's 6'9". Jordan stood 6'6". He plays all angles of the floor. He plays everywhere. And so I'm thinking, it's kind of like a running back in football. You're thinking, is he getting beat up too much? Is he going to be able to take this? Is his body going to be able to take this beating, this pounding?
Well, I think the thing you talk about, the biggest freak of LeBron is how he came into the league so mature.
Yeah.
I mean, 18. Yeah. I grew up in a little town, Orrville, Ohio, and we used to play St. Vincent St. Mary's.
Really?
Yes. And so I actually saw him play a couple of games in high school.
Okay.
And he didn't even win his state championship as a senior. That's an amazing thing. But another thing amazing, a lot of people don't know, this guy was an all-state receiver on the football team.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I heard about that. They were talking about that on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
They don't talk about it a lot, but yes, great hands.
Well, let's get outside the box a little bit here. When it was the decision, where's LeBron going to go? What's he going to do?
I'm taking my talents to South Beach.
No, I think being a Steeler fan, I wouldn't like to have seen this, but I think the biggest move he could have made, and it would have been so much fun, it would have led SportsCenter for the next month, was signing with the Browns.
Oh gosh! Oh gosh!
But would that not have led SportsCenter for the next month?
Get out of here with that! Oh my gosh! The Cleveland Browns and LeBron. You know what? He doesn't look good in brown.
No, he does really good in black and gold though.
Well, I tell you what, he's looking pretty good in burgundy and gold as they wrap up the series on the east side and hang out and wait for the west, which is tonight. The Golden State Warriors, Houston Rockets. That should be an entertaining game. What's your prediction on that? What do you think?
Well, I was kind of surprised that we're even playing a game tonight.
Yeah, I know, right?
That was my thought. I thought that, both teams were going to take care of business in 4, the Cavs and the Warriors. But they got another game. Curry's a little banged up. I don't think that's really going to play into anything.
Wearing a sleeve tonight. He's going to wear a sleeve.
Whether they close it out tonight, they're going to win the series, in my opinion.
Okay.
I don't see any other outcome.
Mm-hmm.
But
Cleveland?
Well, then there's the other side. Does Cleveland? Is it? Some people say Cleveland's sitting back and waiting and resting. Some people say they're sitting back and getting rusty. I don't know which way you look at that. And then you can look at the other side saying that the Warriors got to keep playing. They're exerting energy. They got to play more games. Is that a bad thing?
Sure. Yeah, well, you know what, they're young, they're a shooting team, and, sometimes rest for them, when you have a shooting team, they get a little streaky, so rest is always good. And I think LeBron has changed in a very short period of time the mindset of that locker room and has turned it into a winning organization. They expect to win every night when they go out on that floor. And as do Golden State, don't get me wrong. Steph Curry is amazing. They're doing a great job over there. But they expect to win, Cleveland does. And when you have LeBron in the forefront, I got to go with LeBron. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers to beat the Golden State Warriors in 6 games.
Well, I'm going to, how do I want to say this?
Do you concur?
If I was a betting man, which I'm really not, occasionally, once in a while, I really, really got to have a strong feeling if I want to put any amount of money, any wager on a sporting event. And all I can tell you is, I'm staying away from this one.
Oh,
I've got no opinion.
Oh.
It's one of those ones, I think it's going to be a great series. But if you ask me and you said, you've got to put your money down right now, I'm walking away.
What?
I think it could go both ways.
Oh,
come on, hey, folks. Sorry.
I want to hear from you guys. Go to Facebook. Go to the Facebook page. I'm going to go to the Facebook page. I'm going to see what's going on with folks. I'm going to see what do you guys agree with me? Pick somebody. Let's see what you guys come up with. Golden State Warriors, Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, of course, Golden State's got to finish up, but they've got to go. Let's see. Golden State has the best record, so I think they start out in Oakland.
Yeah.
And so Oakland has home field advantage. But who do you think is going to win, Golden State or Cleveland Cavaliers? So I will take some of those responses as they come in onto Facebook and email. And, I can't wait to, we did a little bit of, the missus and I, we did a little bit of cleanup in the backyard. And we went to that no playoffs for me clearance center, better known as Home Depot, over the weekend. I don't know what it is about the playoffs. Playoffs? Playoffs?
I think they get some TV screens in there somewhere.
I don't know what it's about the playoffs. Every time, doesn't matter what sporting event, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, it could be German badminton. If the playoffs are on, my wife's got a project or 2 or 3 for me. And so we go there and we get some stuff. We beautify the yard. We make it look good. And she's planting flowers. I'm moving and building stuff. We're pretending to. And we're going to have dinner outside tonight. Relax, let that breeze come through.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Delta breeze is great out there. We're going to talk when we come back a little bit more about that Delta breeze and the Sacramento area as a whole as it results into real estate. A lot of numbers are coming out and a lot of folks are buying. But where's the inventory? We want to talk a little bit about that when we come back. We are at the bottom of the hour. You are listening to the Realtor Reese Show. I am your host, Realtor Reese. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You are listening to the Realtor Reese Show. I am your host, Realtor Reese Punter. I'm here each and every Wednesday between 4 and 5, getting you over the hump as we talk about all things real estate, sports, business. Sacramento is one of the emerging markets. And we are, in terms of sports, nothing bigger. We got a new arena coming. Steve Atala is here in the studio joining me. He's with Summit Funding. Steve Atala. Steve, we got a lot of things going on. We got the arena. We've got home prices that are rising. We have empty nesters now. Each year around this time, we have people that are graduating college. We talked about that the last couple of weeks, and about the affordability of homes. Just in the Sacramento market, just to give you an overview, The average sold price home now, median, or this is average, 289,000. So 290,000. So it's getting, it's starting to rise a little bit.
Definitely.
We're starting to see things come up. We're also seeing for sale right now on the market in Sacramento County, 3,151 homes. Of those,
3,000 are in contract now.
no, but of those, what's funny, let's see, almost 20%, more than 20%, 709 price reductions.
Interesting.
Sign of over-optimism here in Sacramento.
You're always going to have that ebb and flow, I think.
Yeah,
And I think we've seen it. I don't think, I think we've all got opinions on it, but I don't think we're going to see the big swings, the big changes we saw, the recent past.
Sure.
I've got my theories on that, but yeah, I mean, I see those little ups and downs now.
Sure. The new listings we're seeing, let's see, we've got 951 new listings that have come, meaning they have been on the market less than 30 days. So
Okay.
a lot of folks looking like, sometimes it's good to go against the grain, and maybe you'll agree with me on this. Every year around this time, we have folks that start putting their home on the market because they start beautifying it. The weather's nice. We're starting to see a ton more open houses. I know that you've worked with not only my team but a lot of other agents
Yes.
with regards to open homes and open houses and what you do. So what is new in your world? I know that with the market going in all different directions, a lot of open houses, you're probably meeting a lot of folks from all ends of the spectrum. What's new with you?
You're absolutely right. I've done quite a few opens lately, and I will tell you this, it's either been hit or miss, based on the property. One of the realtors I work with, she does a great job of putting something on the market, and no showings until the open.
Okay.
And the floodgates open.
Yeah.
And so I've met a lot of people there, met a lot of interesting scenarios.
Seen that strategy.
Yeah, you talk about interesting and new. Kind of go off the subject of inventory and houses. Something new in my world that over the last couple of weeks, something that I've been in lending and banking for 15 years. And I've always been on the forward mortgage side. The traditional 30-year, 15-year fixed loan that everybody knows about.
Sure. That's why you survived all the nonsense.
Exactly. But in the last couple of weeks, I've had a little bit of an introduction into reverse mortgage.
Reverse mortgage?
Yep, never.
Going backwards?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's, and it's just kind of, the situation has come up a few times lately. You're looking at a scenario, and Summit Funding, we've got a new person on board, Phil Scott.
All right.
Phil Scott came over from about a 10-year background, very heavily involved in reverse mortgage.
Okay.
And so he's been kind of a mentor, taught me a few things in the last few weeks on a couple of deals. And I was truly amazed at the product.
Okay.
Just because, like I said, it's just not been something I've ever looked at. I've looked at it, and I've seen it with one scenario where there's an ability for a person who, they've got a house that's worth about $800,000.
All right. We got $800,000 home.
They owe $350 on it.
Okay.
They're in their mid-60s.
Got it. Doing pretty good.
And they've got PITI.
Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance for those out there.
Of about $3,000 a month.
Okay. All right.
Now, they've got total income, Social Security,
Okay.
of $3,000 a month.
Oh.
Hey.
Uh-oh. Hey-oh.
Hey, what do we do now?
Okay.
And, Phil showed me and, ran the scenario where this couple could essentially eliminate their mortgage payment for the rest of their lives,
Okay.
live in the house. Now they're still going to pay the taxes and insurance,
Okay.
but they don't have a payment. They live there and don't make a payment for as long as they live in the property.
Right. So let me get this straight. So what are the prerequisites for? So I think it's we got 62 or over.
We're looking at it's age.
Okay.
We're starting with their birthday.
Okay.
We're looking at the value of the property. Now there's some things there as far as the maximum value, like this one. It goes over the FHA limit. And then what they owe. And I mean, it's literally that simple. I'm learning more as I go about it, but I saw the scenario and went, and they run the tables out for if they live there for another 20 years. And, their heirs are still going to have equity in the property.
Nice. So if you're a financial advisor out there, you should really be partnering up with these financial advisors and speaking with with folks who are coming here to near that end game. I'm representing a lot of folks now who want to move down. They want, hey, we're empty nesters, we got to move down now. But this might be a way where they can still have the same style of living. They're retiring, but not having this mortgage payment, and actually, I guess in essence, having your home pay you, right?
Exactly. You've worked so long to pay off the property, and you get to that point where, it's about quality of life, it's about cash flow, and it's about being able to do things you want to do. Now, the other thing I thought was very interesting, the second scenario that came to us this week, and Phil very astutely showed me this one and really opened my eyes, that you can buy a home with a reverse mortgage.
Okay, all right.
Now that's when I went, okay.
What?
Situation, you touched on it right there. It was an empty nester.
Okay.
They were actually moving from the Bay Area to El Dorado Hills. Okay. And they were going to put down about 50%.
Okay.
And it was a situation where, now they didn't go with this option, but I'm going to have them revisit it in the near future because it was a thing, hey, they wanted to close, we needed to get it done. But I want them to look at it because, essentially, they've got a loan for roughly $300, $350, I don't remember the exact number.
Okay.
And they've got a mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Well, now they can eliminate that mortgage payment.
Poof.
It's gone. And they're still going to pay the taxes and insurance, but you don't, you never make another payment.
Understandably so. So if in a regular mortgage, for those who are listening out there, we're talking about reverse mortgages with Steve Atala, Summit Funding. So if you're 62 or older out there and you're looking for money to finance a home improvement, pay off your current mortgage, supplement your retirement income, a lot of baby boomers got in trouble and they're having to work longer. I know my doctor just retired and he had a situation where that wouldn't allow him to retire when he wanted to, so he's retiring a little bit later. So you might be behind the 8 ball a little bit. You can get out in front of things with a reverse mortgage. Now, in a regular mortgage, you make monthly payments to the lender. Okay, so in a reverse mortgage, you receive the money from the lender. Am I correct in that?
Well, there's different options. Some are depending on the equity position, depending on the age.
Okay.
And some have there are upfront lump sum payment.
Okay.
There are draws that can be made. In other situations, like the one we just talked about with this gentleman, based on the age, what the life expectancy is, it's not something that you want to look at, but you have to be very honest. What's your life expectancy? How important is just eliminating that payment? So in some cases, it's creating a cash flow. Other scenarios, it's just eliminating the expense.
One way or another, if you're 62 or older and you're needing some other money or you're needing to supplement your retirement, just reach out to you.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's something that I'm not the expert, but I've got the expert in the office next to me.
Love it.
And
Love it.
I'm smart enough to know what I don't know, and I'm learning. And like I said, this is something that's come up recently. Phil's a person who has taken 2 essentially startup companies to #1 and #3 in the nation in reverse mortgage.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So and I've seen him present, and I've seen him lays out the scenarios and what's going on, and it's really eye-opening. And the other thing I never knew much about reverse, and I think there was always a stigma that you're going to lose your house or it's a scary product or
Sure.
anything like that.
There's always questions.
I mean, it's an FHA loan. It's a government-insured product,
Okay.
and it's extremely safe.
And the Federal Trade Commission, our nation's largest consumer protection agency, wants you to understand reverse mortgages out there as well. So if you are 62 or older and you are wanting more information, maybe you just want to know a general concept, what is reverse? Is it right for me? Should I do this? Before I call Steve and before I call Phil and have them work on this for me, I just want some general information. You can do that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach the link to my Facebook page. So if you go to Realtor Reese on Facebook, you will see a link from the Consumer Federal Trade. It is a government-backed product, and I will have that site on there for you so you can get some more information. Just go to Realtor Reese on Facebook and learn a little bit more about reverse mortgages and learn if it is right for you. Before you call Steve and Phil over at Summit Funding, we appreciate you listening out there, getting you over the hump each and every Wednesday. I am Realtor Reese. We are in studio here with Steve Atala from Summit Funding. Steve, Always, always, always a pleasure having you in here talking about sports, talking about reverse mortgages, talking about lending, talking about getting folks into properties. I know that we had a number of inquiries from some youngsters coming into the marketplace, right? So these are young adults. They don't should I buy? Should I lease? What should I do? What's the matrix? I don't know. So in our last segment, we got to go to break. We got to pay the bills. But in our last segment, I'd like you to come back and let's talk a little bit, just real quick, for those listeners out there who are just getting into real world market. What's it going to take for them to buy a home? Is it possible? I think you guys are going to be surprised, and we're going to answer that question that I asked earlier. Which celebrity just off their Calabasas mansion? I'm getting a few guesses over email, but they're incorrect. Stay tuned. We are going to uncover that and more. You're listening to the Realtor Reese Show. And welcome back to the Realtor Reese Show. You are locked in for another few minutes at least. Thank you for making that drive with me. You are listening to Realtor Reese. I am your host, Reese Punter. If you're listening out there and you want to chime in, 866-576-1055. We've had a number of emails come in, and I first want to answer Esperanza, who asked information or data for her zip code. And a lot of folks will either ask me, hey, what's the market doing in my zip code? Because we have to remember this, folks. You're listening to a lot of news, a lot of media out there about the real estate market. Hey, this is what it's doing. This is where rates are. This is where this is at. This is where that's at. We really don't know what's going on in our backyard. That's on a nationwide level. So yes, real estate might be up 6% nationwide. What's it doing in your neighborhood? What's the turnover like? What's the school rankings? What are the ratings? All of that information and more. Now, there's a lot of consumer sites out there that will supply that information. Some people will come to me and ask me directly. So a lot of folks know it, and also I am a member of Realtor.com. I subscribe to it, and we work together in joint efforts in a number of zip codes out here in Sacramento to service buyers and sellers out there as it relates to getting them in and out of homes. So in Sacramento, we're seeing some surging prices. Slowly, but surging. A slow surge, if you will. But Esperanza asks, so in 95833, what is her median income, her median house? And I am looking that up for you as we speak, Esperanza. 95833. This is a tool that if you log on, go ahead and shoot me an email. You don't even have to log on to RealtorReese.com. That is my website, RealtorReese.com. But you can shoot me an email at Reese@RealtorReese.com, and that is REESE. So Esperanza, 95833. We have 42 new homes on the market in the last 30 days. There are 123 homes total that are listed. We have 23 price reductions. So Steve Atala, Summit Funding, we have 120 homes that are on the market. We have 42 that are new. 23 of them have already gone through a price reduction. So it seems 95833, we're looking, they're pretty optimistic out there as well. Average home price out there in 95833 are listed right now. The average home price, $329, but the average home sold in the last last 6 months, $218,000. So I'll say they're pretty optimistic here. Pretty optimistic. And just here in the last year, we've had a 19% turnover in 95833. So an aggressive market both for buyers and sellers, but we have to make sure that you have a consultation if you're a seller, and get us out there. Give me a call directly. I haven't thrown my number out here yet, but Realtor Reese, 804-7526, 916-804-7526. That is my personal cell number. If you have a home that you want evaluated, give me a call. I will come out personally. I will do an evaluation of your home. I will sit down and give you a real comprehensive market analysis and comparison. And Steve Atala here at Summit Funding and I will cross-reference our database to see if we have any buyers. A lot of times we have buyers before we even take the listing. So 916-804-7526. We were talking earlier, folks, about grads. If you're just graduating, you're just getting out, where should I go? What should I do? Should I buy? Should I rent? What should happen? So, Steve, first off, when we get phone calls that come in, I always sit down and I take some information and I say, have you talked to a lender? And you'll be surprised, 9 times out of 10, it's no. We just, we like that house, right? Shiny, pretty object. I send them over to you, you sit them down. Sometimes I get to make the meetings, sometimes I don't. Sometimes you do it right over the phone. I mean, very convenient, whether you're a tech person and you say, look, I don't want to go anywhere, I can submit my stuff online. You have that available for folks. If they want to come in and sit down eyeball to eyeball, more than happy to do so. Do it over the phone, you do it all. What are you covering on those first meetings?
Yeah, got a great question. I had this Saturday morning.
Okay.
I went to Elk Grove, met with a young man and his mother. He graduated in December, and great job, right out of school, graduated with an engineering degree.
Okay.
And coming into this saying, what can I do? What are my options? And I really loved it because a lot of people, and I think he kind of came into this too, thinking, gosh, I don't have the work history.
Sure.
I've been on the job for 2 years. What can I do?
Sure.
Well, that college diploma counts. I mean, we look at that as work history.
Okay.
So we're going to look at your transcripts. We're going to look at your job history. And so really, once you come out with a workforce, you're an eligible buyer.
Really?
Absolutely.
Did you hear that, Chelsea? My daughter, Chelsea, just graduated from San Diego State.
Give me a call.
Maybe we can, not in Laguna Beach, but maybe somewhere.
Elk Grove.
We can get,
That's where this one's at. So yeah, this young man's getting ready to buy. And he worked through college. He saved a little bit of money for a down payment.
Okay.
Has good credit. And, is a W-2 person coming into the workplace with, a solid income.
Wow, so folks out there, we had something last segment for 62 and over. Now we're talking 18, 25, you're just getting out of college. You're thinking, I got to go get 2 years of work history. What are the rates going to be in 2 years? What are the home prices going to be in 2 years? And you get all this anxiety. Is I'm going to be a renter forever? I'll never have all these tax advantages and the maximum bundle of rights? No. Summit Funding, Steve Atala, 205-1468, 916-205-1468. Give him a call. Let him have a comprehensive consultation with you and see if he can get you into a home like he did those folks last week. You are listening to the Realtor Reese Show. You can reach us 866-576-1055. We are here every Wednesday getting you over the hump each and every Wednesday. Want to get into celebrity real estate. Celebrity real estate's been hot.
And I got to tell you, I didn't know the answer to this one.
It's been pretty hot this week. And so, you hear Calabasas, and the first thing that goes to my head is the Kardashians, right? Because everybody knows the Kardashians live in Calabasas, so I thought, okay, But then he tricked me. It's a trick question because they said celebrity.
Okay.
So I was like, well, okay, it's celebrity. Well, I guess there's celebrity.
I'll handle the sports trivia questions.
Well, you know what? Every home has its thorn. Brett Michaels is selling his Calabasas mansion and $3.69 million. And
That was $4 million.
It's looking pretty good. I'm looking at it right here. We're going to put a link up on Facebook as well. But he recently listed this $3.69 million home in Calabasas, and we all know Brett Michaels. He found his stardom in the early '80s with a band called Poison, and some of you know him from Celebrity Apprentice. I think he was on the 3rd episode of that one, and also Rock of Love. He's turned into a reality star. He's had some health problems, as we know, in the last year. So he is giving up his 5-bedroom, 6,709, call it 6,800 square foot home. It's a Mediterranean style homes. Looking to get out of it. Looking to move on. So congratulations to Brett. I will send all my buyers out there.
Maybe give us a call.
Maybe he will. Maybe give us a call and see what's happening. Another celebrity, Jim Rome. Jim Rome's selling his home.
Really?
Yeah. I read that in the paper, and everybody knows I'm a fan of Rome.
Mm-hmm.
I like his style. I like great talks. I mean, let's theater clones. I want you to find somebody. You can dial 1-800, blah, blah, blah. I want to sell my home. Can you imagine him as a realtor?
I love one time Frank Caliendo was doing him, and he said, half of you know exactly what I'm talking about, and the others think I'm crazy.
Yeah, how do you know? So you folks who are getting out of college, you're going to call Steve Atala, Summit Funding. You know what I'm talking about. folks out there, reverse mortgage, maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. Jim Rome's selling his house too. We can sell yours. Realtor Reese and his team can sell your home. Give me a call, 916-804-7526. That is my cue. Hour goes by quick, doesn't it, Steve?
It's amazing.
We want to thank you
It's
for being here in studio. I'm going to go and enjoy the lovely weather. I hope you guys do too out there. We will see you next Wednesday, getting you over the hump. You're listening to the Realtor Reese Show on Money 105.5. Enjoy your day.